There is hundreds of ways to set up a self-reflection routine. There is apps, there is notebooks, prompt-based, free-flowing, daily, weekly. It is very easy to be overwhelmed and difficult to find a system that can allow you to do this consistently and to put you in the state of self-reflection. So the objective of this video is to help you find a way. Hola amigos, my name is Daniel and I'm a former engineer now running an online course creation agency and the creator of the Notion Academy. In this video we are going to be covering the good and the bad of both physical and digital self-reflection methods and the solution to rule them all. So let's get started. So first of all, why should we choose a physical way of self-reflection? This can be a diary or journaling notebook. I'm gonna separate this in pros and cons. The first pro is writing is slow, but this is a good thing. When we are writing, we are doing it slower than when we type in our keyboard. And this is allowing us to think better what we are going to write. Sometimes when I type in my keyboard, I feel that I type faster than I think. So therefore, writing is super useful for this. The second pro is writing in notebooks allows me getting undivided attention. And why is that? Whenever I'm sitting in front of my notebook, it's my notebook and me. That is it. There is no way that I'm gonna receive any notification or that I can think of doing anything else. It's just my notebook and me. The third pro is an emotional connection with the physical. Whenever we take our notebook, we can have this connection. We can touch it, we can feel it, we can open it, we can smell it. We cannot do this with a computer. And this is very important because this is all our thoughts today, yesterday, and in all our past. But now the cons. Notebooks occupy space, and if you write a lot, like I do, you're gonna end up with a lot of different notebooks. And if you travel and you wanna bring them, it's gonna be a lot of weight. The second con is that Command F doesn't work in a notebook. You cannot search for past information. I cannot check how many times I have talked about Notion on my notebook. There is no way to do any of that. And the third con is that there is no structure. Whenever we open our notebook, it's always a blank page and we have to give it a structure every day. There is no replicable system that we just can hit a button and we can do the same every day. Okay, so we have seen that physical journaling can have pros and cons. So let's look at what digital journaling is going to look like. First, the pros. The structure of our journaling can be automated. And this means if we always want to follow the same structure, we can use softwares like Notion, for example, and build a template that we can just hit one time and all the prompts that we want to use are going to be created for us. Second pro is that it is very easy to reference the past. In Notion, we can use databases for this, or we can simply use the search function. And now the third pro is that it doesn't occupy physical space. Of course, everything is stored in our computer, so we don't have to run around with a stack of notebooks to write on them. Everything is in our computer. But there is some cons of using computers for journaling and for self-reflection. The first one that comes to mind is that it's very easy to get distracted. As I use my computer for virtually everything, my computer is not a place that I just use for reflection. I use it for working, I use it for leisure, I use it for reflection, I use it to call my parents in Spain. I use it for everything. So it's very easy for my brain to, while I'm on the computer, to think of all the things that I may be doing. I may open my Gmail, I may open Twitter, and this brings me to the second con, which is that computers make it a little harder to get into reflection mode. Because as I said, we use them for almost everything. Then the third con is that there is no emotional connection with what we are doing. We cannot touch our writing, we cannot feel it. It's basically feelingless letters that we write on our screen. There is no connection to that. Okay, so now that we have looked at both ways of doing reflection side to side, what can we do to minimize the cons and maximize the pros of both? Okay, introducing my self-reflection system. That was cool. So first let me tell you how this system works. Every day before starting to work, I sit down and open my computer. I put my headphones on, I turn on the noise cancelling and play some instrumental music. Playlist in the description. Then I open my Moleskine and write today's date. And after that, I will spend 10 full minutes free flow writing. Whatever comes to my mind, I will write it. There is no structure here. The only structure that I'm going to add to this is that in the end of the page, I'm gonna write some gratitude. What am I grateful for today? And after that, I will put my notebook away and I will go to Notion to continue my self-reflection there. So once in Notion, I'm gonna go to my focus page, scroll down and add a new daily log. I will use this template. And here, my morning prompt. First one, I'm trying to actively recall what I'm dreaming last night because I think it can be a source to understand myself. So here, I'm gonna write what did I dream. I don't know what I dreamed last night, okay? So I'm gonna say that I refuse to remember my dreams. This is telling my brain that I want to remember my dreams, but today I refuse to do so. Then I'm going to write some gratitude. Here I'm gonna copy whatever I wrote in my physical diary. Then here I'm going to see what I wrote yesterday that will make tomorrow great. This is just a reminder from my past self. Now what under my control will make today even more great. This helps me to focus on what I really have control over and put me in the right mindset. Then some affirmations. I should start with I am. And next, I'm gonna write which is the most important task that I have to do today. And that is it. With this, I will be finished. So now, do you see how this system can bring the best of both places while minimizing the cons of each of them? No? Okay, so let me explain. I'm gonna put here the list of the cons of both physical and digital, and I'm going to eliminate each of them as we see how this system can solve them. So now, by writing on paper first, and by using that notebook just for self-reflection, we're telling our brain that is reflection time. Now, I also have to say that the free-flowing of writing on paper really helps our true self to come through and our real struggles to really shine on the paper. This is what is good of not having any structure while journaling. Now, by writing the majority of our reflection on paper, we are preventing ourselves from getting distracted with notifications or email or what have you. And it's easier to enter in that flow state that then we can transfer to our journaling in our computer. And as we are using a physical notebook, we can always go back to the notebook and have this physical connection with it. And as I said before, go back and touch what our past self was touching. This is an amazing feeling. Now, by later continuing our reflection in our computer, we're actually saving some space. Of course, not all space as if we were writing everything on the computer, but part of our reflection is being done here. So therefore, every day we are saving some physical space in our notebook, and this compounds over time. Now, as Notion has amazing search and organizational features, we are able to go back in the past and easily find some keywords that we may use. Or, for example, we are also able to store all our gratitude or affirmations in databases that then we can very easily go back to and check what we wrote. And finally, by using the Notion templates, we can give some structure to our self-reflection process. And what this helps is to allow us to first think what prompts we may need in a daily basis, and then allow us to fulfill them in a very easy way, just clicking the template button. Okay, so now that you have seen how I do my daily reflection process, I would love to see how you do yours in the comments below, because we all can learn from each other, and I am sure that I have a lot of room for improvement. And if you're interested in knowing how Notion can help you organize your life, I will link around here my favorite video so far in which I show how I manage my life with that app. And if you're starting in Notion and want to get even more out of the app, I'm also running the Notion Academy, in which we cover all the basics about Notion and then how to build our life operating system. Currently, the course is 50% completed, and now I'm in the process of updating the past content and adding new content. So if you still want to join at the beta price, join before December 1st. You can find the link in the description below. So that is it, guys. I hope you liked this video, and hasta la próxima.